abuse is abuse, either from a man or a woman. This time, we often talk less or underreport when women abuse men. Now, a wife to a sitting president of France did it in public. Now, let's take a look.
Emmanuel Macron has been humiliated by his very own wife in front of the eyes of the world. Yes, shocking footage has emerged overnight of the French President Emmanuel Macron being brutally slapped and shoved by his wife and First Lady Brigitte just before disembarking his plane in Vietnam. The internet went into meltdown with the bizarre display. This commentator said, "Macron, blink twice if you need help." Journalist Miranda Devine had a different take, celebrating the incident. She said, "Looks like Brigitte Macron, 72, is as sick of her smug man-child husband, Emmanuel, 47, as the rest of the world is. Viva la France."
Now, you see her violently slapping the hell out of her husband, and in bewilderment, the man looks at the screen or looks at, the onlookers and the camera, and then he waves. But he has suffered a terrible humiliation from his wife, and this is very bad. And now she has now opened the hell of dragging, because people are now beginning to drag, opposition figures are beginning to drag. In fact, an opposition person in France said that the 80-year-old woman is probably tired of Macron, the way the French are tired of him. You see now, but somebody also came out and said that people need to shine the light and eyes on the fact that men are also abused. Just imagine if Macron had raised his hand on her, it would have been a terrible thing. In fact, that could have even earned him his political career. But the wife did it. Who knows what will happen?
But not everyone took this as lightly as Devine. This commentator used the footage to shine a light on domestic violence, saying, "Imagine for one moment if Macron pushed his wife in the face like this. Imagine. Domestic abuse against men is common and widely ignored. All violence is unacceptable."
But people often should also try to defend men, because men are also victims of harassment. Imagine, who knows what Macron has done, but Macron is not coming out to cry. Macron is saying that they were having a play fight. So, of course, he has to save face, and he also has to protect his wife. How many women can protect their husbands like that? And then another thing is the fact that somebody has said that Macron needs to be protected, because we do not also know, who knows, if Macron had been caught in a very compromising situation, and Macron would have to protect his wife's reputation. Otherwise, she'll come to the public and throw everything out there for people to know. So Macron might as well be saving his own neck by not coming out to expose his wife further. And then when they were going down the stairs, he tried to hold her hand, and she also refused. But Macron, you will see him that he clenched his fist a little bit, beside his legs, meaning that he was really, really angry, humiliated, and embarrassed.
And there wasn't only tension on the plane. Macron attempted to cover up the spat by offering his arm to his wife, which she swiftly rejected, leading to a very awkward walk down the stairs. Commentator Candace Owens mocked the situation, saying, "After first calling it Russian disinformation, Emmanuel Macron has now pivoted and is telling the press that he and his 80-year-old husband were play fighting. Ever play fight with a senior citizen?" Also, Brigitte refused his hand coming down the stairs. And eagle-eyed viewers pointed out that Emmanuel Macron was not happy about the public display of humiliation, clenching his fists in rage on the tarmac. And perhaps the most bizarre part of the whole ordeal is how Emmanuel Macron attempted to cover up the argument to the world's media after the footage was released. The president tried to make everyone believe the couple were just horsing around and pretend fighting. He said, "I was bickering, or rather joking, with my wife. It's nothing."
So we know that Macron's wife is, her full name is Brigitte Maria Claude Macron, and she was born in 1953. She was born 13th of April 1953, and she was his former teacher, before they married. And I'm sure that he must have seen some outstanding qualities in her before he married her. And of course, she's so old compared to his age, and I don't really know how he enjoys that. But of course, people think that in this kind of relationship, she will definitely treat the boy like her son, and maybe that's why she gave him a dirty slap in the plane. But just imagine that if she can do this in public, what she'll be doing behind doors. You know, it means that this man may just be suffering some form of humiliation that nobody really knows. And you know, Macron actually, this happened in Vietnam because Macron went to Vietnam, and in fact he signed a lot of deals with Vietnam. They said France and Vietnam on Monday signed deals on Airbus planes, defense and other parts worth 900 billion euro. That is about 7.55 billion pounds. As Macron's embarked on the first formal visit by a French presidential couple to the country's former colony in nearly a decade, and then this deal came with a slap. And it's so embarrassing that a country that you colonized before, your wife comes to that place and then slaps the hell out of you. But Macron has told reporters in Hanoi he and his wife were joking around, so he's trying to defend her, as we do quite often. You know, so I like that he has to also come and defend his wife, but in the end this man needs to actually cry out if this woman is abusing him, so that it won't get to a stage that she'll probably stab him, and then that's when we'll get to know. Who knows if she's the kind of person that throws tantrum or if it's just her nature to be violent. Now the question is, did the first lady decide to cheer up her husband with a gentle pat on the cheek and miscalculated her strength? Maybe that's what people have jokingly said, but it's terrible. If that was a play, when we were going down the stairs, why didn't she allow him hold her hands? So this is a disturbing situation because Donald Trump has never received anything like that. Obama didn't, and I think Macron deserves better, and people should stand up for him rather than just, you know, make a joke out of this and allow this slide. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I remain your boy NS Omosupe Adebayo Koje. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Signing out. Peace.